Thank you for staying with us. In this second half, we'll be shifting our attention to Kano State, where the All Progressive Congress has chastised the leader of the Nigerian People's Party, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, for criticizing the method adopted by the federal government in distribution palliatives to the intended beneficiaries. In a statement posted on his ex-handle, the chairman of the party, Abdullahi Abbas, in Kano, says the federal government is committed to alleviating hunger in the country, but that NNPP government in Kano is frustrating the efforts. Mr. Abbas also faulted Senator Kwankwaso for saying that the distribution exercise was solely left for the APC. For more on this back and forth in Kano politics, let's bring you a member of the Presidential Palliative Distribution Committee in Kano, Miriam Shettima, who joins us live in our studio. Miriam, thank you for coming around.
Thank you for having me. I mean, what I just heard, what you just mentioned about people doubting the transparency of the distribution of the palliative is thoroughly baseless and completely outrageous. Like, they should cut us some slack, really, because this thing has never even been more transparent. Okay. If you notice,
Miriam, let's take it from the nitty-gritty.
Okay.
So, what was the rationale deployed? What was the yardstick in which you put into consideration before the distribution?
Okay, you see, number one, we are the committee is an ad hoc committee, by the way. It's a broad-based ad hoc committee that consists of all members across the party affiliations. So it's unfortunate that people would even claim that it's not transparent in any way. And being chaired by our able Deputy Senate President, His Excellency Senator Barrow Jibril, I think gives it that credibility and legitimacy. He's a father to all. He has no grudge against anybody. He is always pro-people. And, you know, they made sure that there's equal and fair representation from all political parties when it came to the constitution of this committee. And anyway, the constitution of this committee is entirely at as Mr. President's prerogative. But you know, anybody that cares to listen or read the national dailies, it's out there. The internet doesn't hide these things. It cuts across party lines.
So when it comes to poverty, you know, poverty cuts across.
Does not discriminate.
Yes.
Frankly, I think
who is PDP
absolutely
or APC,
it doesn't care.
Market, go to the same filling station.
You would still see people that are hungry, and they wouldn't tell you the party. And if somebody brings food, no one would ask, "Oh, you're from so-so party. I'm not going to take this food from you." So I think people should really try to embrace unity. And when they see one, and you know, we should shy away from politicizing everything. We're talking about food security now. We're talking about governance now. The government is truly concerned to ensure that people's feelings and hardships are being assuaged in every single way possible. Let me tell you something. You know, the ad hoc committee does not just stop at you know, you could consider it's multidimensional. You know, when you see it horizontally, you know, it's multi-partisan. When you consider that all the Nigerian political parties are involved, their members are included, and then also it's non-partisan when it comes to the civil stakeholders in Kano. That is when you see the traditional rulers, the religious leaders, the women groups, the people with disability, excuse my language, I would say, people, you know, the physically challenged, you know, because disability sometimes they say is from the brain, is from the mind. So I think these are also brave people who are of serious concern to Mr. President as well as the youth groups, So every layer of the society has been fairly included and carried along when it comes to this palliative distribution.
For Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso to have criticized the Federal Government Palliative Committee for excluding the governor in the distribution process, how true is this? Can you actually embark on such a big project and exclude the governor of the state?
Frankly, you know, when you're talking of palliative, the bottom line and the aim of this is to ensure that it reaches the people that are truly vulnerable.
Absolutely.
That are truly...
That should be the bottom line.
Exactly. And
what have you done to effect that?
That's what I'm telling you. When you look at the composition of the ad hoc committee, like we have senators from NNPP, we have Senator Kaus Mela, we have Senator Rufai Hanga, who is from my zone. That's the Kano Central. Because, yeah, my church was the Kano Central. So he happens to be from there, and he is thoroughly NNPP. There were House of Reps members, the Alaji Alasan Room, Honorable Alasan Room, and several others that didn't even belong to the party, and there were PDP members as well. So nobody was excluded. Nobody was excluded along the social strata or the political parties. Everyone was carried along. It's just for Kano people, especially the vulnerable, to have some solace, you know. And by the way, I need to disabuse people's mind with this, because people would be like, you know, why rise? Or, you know, people have been made, are being treated like beggars. It's not that. People should look beyond the politics of all this. It's the gesture, you know, it's the gesture, the symbolic gesture from Mr. President that, look, things are not completely rosy. They're difficult. We realize that you're going through hardship, and we're doing all we can to alleviate that. And this is not something that will last for a long time. Nigerians should know that, you know, it's a rough patch that's necessary, but it's temporary, definitely, with the things that I see being put in place.
You were involved in the distribution of these palliatives after a committee was reconstituted.
Right.
Now, following Mr. President Tinubu's disapproval of the initial process.
Right.
Now, how is this one different?
Exactly. When this committee is constituted, like I told you, when you look at the structure of this committee, and there's so much transparency involved, and even the composition of the committee itself is of people that are reliable, people that are honest, people with integrity, people that truly care about the common man. Because there were also people that had been put. Some of these people do not even realize, no, these are people that would even report where these things were done fairly or not. I wouldn't mind calling these like maybe some hidden supervisors to ensure that transparency and credibility.
Now, what's in terms of the feedback? In terms of what's the feedback like? The impact of this distribution carried out with the reconsidered committee, presidential committee.
Okay, you see, the thing is, the feedback is fantastic, and this is an ongoing process that has just been rolled out. It starts, the one we just did in Kano, what happened in Kano was the launch of this initiative throughout the entire Northwest. Throughout the entire Northwest.
Kano.
Exactly.
How will you be handling it to make sure that it doesn't become so rowdy and it doesn't become something that's, you know, people will even, you know, get frustrated in the process of getting their palliatives?
Yeah, this is why, you know, it's being done gradually and in a very organized manner. There are the security agencies that are also involved in each committee. And, you know, when I talk of the composition of this ad hoc committee vertically, you know, the way this rice is going to be distributed is from the state level down to the local government level and to the wards level. And even at the wards level, the party chairmen of all political parties are involved in the distribution. This is an ongoing process that has just been started, and so far it's been going on very well.
I wish we could de-emphasize this party thing, you know, that, oh, so far you're a Nigerian, you are hungry. You have access to it.
Absolutely. There's no discrimination whatsoever. That's
Everybody's hungry.
If you see the little that we have done so far and the kind of people we've reached, you know, Mr. President is concerned that these things had to go to the end beneficiaries, and we had to ensure of that. I'm sure you must have seen some clips about, you know, me going to the grassroots and, you know, in that, I mean, the kind of welcome, I mean, people really were warm and were not as political as people, you know, projected to be, as the politicians at the top, projected to be.
And you guys won't catch up on this situation and use it as a campaign strategy.
Not
that we see APC emblem everywhere
not at all.
because you are distributing palliative or you are coaxing people to vote for APC.
No, far from that. Far from that. The people could attest to that because they've seen the kind of people, the caliber of people that are involved in this palliative. And it's very glaring that it's non-discriminatory so long as you are a vulnerable Nigerian and a vulnerable person in Kano, you're definitely entitled to it, and Mr. President truly cares for you.
But it seems the people of Kano no longer have confidence in this, even APC as a party. From the results we gathered in 2023 election, the party lost, and they lost all the structure of the party there, and in 2023 election, and since so anything that has to do with that party is like something that the Kano people don't want to hear about now.
No, but I can dispute that. Why? Because if you look at the margin of the scores of both parties, I'm sure you want to say NNPP won, right? But if you scrutinize the results, you would know that the gap was not that much. The gap was not that much, and it was quite scandalized. And we were cautious as a party, as an APC party. We wanted a free and fair election. Whatever muzzle you show, whatever you dispute, may now be turned against you. And honestly, that is not the thing. APC still has fans in Kano. I mean, it has never even been better, frankly, because right now there are so many controversies surrounding the present government there in Kano. I'm not really concerned about that because it's not my party, but there are so many outcries of having Kano a change of government recently. I've been seeing that a lot, and so far throughout my distribution and the grassroots that I had reached out to, the people that I had reached out to, I have not met a single form of resistance or animosity from anybody. Everybody was one. People just like that feeling of belonging, that sense of belonging, that Mr. President cares for them, that the government has not forgotten about them. They're very easy people, that are simple and just want to live their lives happily. They're happy people. You
were nominated as a minister by President Tinubu before your name was dropped and substituted on some political reasons. Have you remained resilient and loyal to the party in spite of that very disappointing event?
Okay, Mr. Ayo, I'm baffled by this question because I never saw it coming, but I'm glad you're bringing that up because, if you have been driven all these years by purpose, you have a certain purpose and focus. I never even ever dreamt of being nominated by Mr. President. So that alone also shows the kind of resilience I must have had without even probably realizing it. Because now people talk to me, people like to see me, people would be like, you're so brave, you're so, and I'd be like, really? I can't see the muscles, it's quite interesting. But frankly, when you're driven by passion, because initially I wasn't a politician and I never even dreamt of becoming one. I was an activist. I wanted change. And along the line, the two sort of get marked together. You find yourself drawn absolutely from President Buhari. So if you notice, I've been pushing for change, since I was in the United Kingdom. Are you sure? I think we're growing. Our democracy is metamorphosing, and I think we will get to that dreamland eventually. But we need to be really patriotic. This is why what I had always pushed was the We Believe initiative. It's my organization that deals with, that encourages patriotism. We need to love our country. We need to stop playing politics. We need to stop dismissing every single achievement and just make disparaging comments and remarks about our leaders and about our nation all the time. I'm very passionate about that. You need to nurture something for you to get nurtured. So if we nurture Nigeria, we are going to get more than we ever dreamt of.
Okay, you are a young female politician from the northern part of Nigeria where women will have to work extra hard, you know what I'm talking about,
right?
To actually break the glass ceiling. How challenging has your political economy, your political journey been?
Yes.
You work extra hard, I know.
Oh my
Women
God.
are not meant to be sane.
Oh my God, oh my God. Believe me, that's a story for another day. I intend to write a book, Mr. Ayo, one day about this. And I think it's going to encourage a lot of young and upcoming politicians in Nigeria is very imperative that I write that book one day, definitely. I must tell you, it has been easy when you're focused and you know where you're headed to, and you're driven by this passion to make Nigeria better. Nothing can stop you. If you want your people to be better, you want the situation to change for the better, like you see abroad when you travel. That's what we dream of implementing in Nigeria one day. And that spirit is living and strongly so. It has not been quashed in any way.
Increase the number of representatives from the northern part of Nigeria in the National Assembly, in the House of Representatives, in the House of in the Senate, and even in the state executive councils across the north.
Exactly.
Significantly.
We need that support from the government, and I think it's doing something, but I think more needs to be done, because we still have not even reached the 35% affirmative that had been, proposed. People are trying. In the South, it's easier sometimes. But I mean, globally, women never find it easy. We would work so hard, and someone would think, oh, somebody is supporting us. Somebody, is disparaging and disheartening. But then you have to forge along. And we see Kamala Harris. She's one iconic woman that every lady should look up to. And I mean, nothing is really impossible. But you see, this initiative of the rice palliative is an incredible one, and it emanates from the president's visionary instinct to forge Nigeria forward, to cushion the effect of hardship on the Nigerian citizens, which is quite commendable. At least he's not an aloof president. He's somebody that listens, and he goes on to show, look, we care. He charged us to go to the very bottom of the grassroots and ensure that this rice reaches the right people. If
you are to chair something on the national level, large scale, like this, a lot of people who are talking about the high food costs across the country. How do we get, how do you make sure that we reduce poverty? Hunger and poverty is, on the rise in the land. What's the most effective mechanism to combat this menace? Interestingly,
I was with the Minister of Agriculture in Kano during the inauguration of this launch of the Rice Palliative Initiative in Kano, and I was able and impressed to extract so many information from him with regard to what the federal government is doing to assuage this level of hunger and poverty amongst its citizens. And one interesting, what even stood up for me recently is the intervention from the federal government of a total of like 100 trucks to the flood victims in Maiduguri. That is quite commendable and swift as well. You could see, and there were like 50 trucks of rice, 30 trucks of maize, and 20 trucks of millet that was allocated to the Maiduguri flood victims. That is really impressive, and it will go a long way in helping people and sorting out the issue of that hunger. And lately, there's also the reduction of the prices, like a subsidization of some of these grains. There's the removal of tariff on rice, maize, and sorghum to cushion this effect as well. And I'm really impressed by that. Like the government shows commitment and a level of seriousness to address these issues squarely, and it's quite commendable. Yes. Okay, I want to thank you for your contribution. I want to thank you for your vibrancy. Thank you very much, Mr. Ayo. We are not done. Yes. I wish you the best of luck in future in politics. Thank you really want to see that name, that Miriam Shettima. Now I remember when the ministerial list was done, and I told Mr. President will actually reconsider and look at the way of Miriam Shettima. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Again, and that's our offering. This week, you can see this episode again on TVC News on YouTube channel. Also, watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. on Sunday. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for watching. Hopefully next week, Femi Akone will be joining you back.